Okay. Hi, guys. All right. Hi, guys. Okay. Here we are. Of course, I'm going to have to get on the other Wi-Fi because it's nighttime and everyone is on it and they all suck.
My dog is right there. I'm not trying to play games.
So, hi. Hang on. Let me get you up here so I can see what's going on. All right. Hi, Sherry Bug, Kristen M. Sombrea. Hi, Joseph. Well, thank you and welcome. Glad you're here. Hi, Jack, Stephen, Jewel, Kristen, Lauren, Kay, Lene, Janice. Hi, honey. Hi, Rowena. Hi, Danny. And Denise. Hello. So how is everyone tonight? Oh, look, here we go again. I have makeup on one eye and not on the other. Oh, that's so annoying. Let me see. Do I have my eyeliner? Are we ready for another makeup lesson? Yes, we are. Yay! You guys get a free makeup lesson. Ready? Takes me 2 seconds. Oh, so annoying. How do you even do that? Yeah, Jack, since it's the only thing I do, you gotta figure that. I've been doing that specific thing for, I don't know, 30-something years, so I almost don't need a mirror because I can feel it. Okay, that's it. Woohoo. All right, it still looks like it's uneven, but I don't care. At least you can see my other eye now. How was work today? Yeah, I only had a half a day, so that was good. I don't know. I'm just really, really tired of it. So, you know, I'll get through, but I'm really sick of it. Hi, Amethyst. Worked on the front porch for a few hours today since it was so nice out. Nice. I mean, how do you only have one eye done? Oh, well, I do that one, but then I rub this one. This is the eye that for some reason bothers me sometimes, and I like get stuff in it. Look at it. Looks so off. What the hell? That's terrible. It's so off. Anyways, I know, 2.5 weeks. Well, 2 weeks and 2 days. So I'm trying. Hi, Shauna. Makeup time with Mama. I know, right? Ravenheart, you could probably do a much better makeup class than I could. Playing in the snow on a sunny day. Yay! Oh, that's fun. You definitely need to encourage Scotty to be in your life to live in Alaska, right? I had to take my daughter Cheyenne to the hospital. Cat scratched, her eyeball. Ow! I don't know about that. Oh, I do. Please, this is it. Like, see the eyeliner? That's all I do. That's it. What's in 2 weeks? Oh, Denise, I have 2 weeks left of my boring day job before I get to start doing like what the universe has put me on the earth to do. Yay! I am working full-time in a witch shop, which hopefully will get to open eventually, for Cassie from Mystic Dragon's Lair. They hired me full-time, and so I'm going to be working full-time with them. I'm so excited. Yay! I just have to get through 2 weeks and 2 days still, which is happening. I'm getting there. Sent you an email about the interview for this Saturday as a reminder. Beautiful. Thank you, Amethyst. I appreciate it. If you have the next 3.5 hours to do Make up with Raven. Yay! I know, right? I'm very excited, Denise. I really am. It will be. It will be. It will be. All right, guys. This is a big. Hopefully, we'll get through it all. Actually, let's be honest. I know me. We will not probably get through everything that I wanted to go through with this section. But let's get through as much of it as we can. Because it's a really good foundation for where you're at and where you want to go. Now, I do have to tell you, if at all possible, and I know I should have said this before, I have like forever and ever till I find a new job. You'd be surprised. Sometimes all of a sudden it just opens up and you're there. I do have to tell you, I know I should have told you before, but you should have something to write with, at least because we're going to be doing a written test, and you have to write down your scores so that when you add them up, you know what kind of psychic energy you're more drawn to. So if you need a second to go find some kind of piece of paper or something to write your scores on, that would be really helpful. Just because there is some good this one is the one that I found is a pretty good test, and it's pretty accurate as far as what kind of psychic energy you should try to be working on. You need a second? That's okay. You know me, I can riff for a while. That's okay. So how have you been, Denise? We haven't seen you, and hopefully there would be writing involved. I know it's not a lot of writing. It's just writing down your score for each question. So it's not a lot of writing. It's just we got to do the score thing. Hi, Cassandra. And I almost couldn't have the notebooks everywhere. I almost couldn't have the video tonight because my son was going to be doing the tattoo on my youngest son, but he couldn't find gloves, and I had some, and anyways, I missed you all. Sick of my mundane life. Ugh, I hear you, Denise. Sometimes you just want to pack it in. And what did you think of the moon last night? Danny, I'll be honest with you, I did not even consider the moon very much. We had clouds in my area, and I couldn't see. I went out a couple times, and I could not get in the mood of the moon. So for me, I probably felt it some, but like I just didn't. There's so much going on that I was too distracted, I think. Hi, Witchy in the Woods. So that's my fault. How did you think of the moon? I didn't get to see it. I was upset. Couldn't wait to see it, and I couldn't even see it. Yeah, me neither. It was pretty and distracted as well. It was amazing. It was partially cloudy, and so seeing the moon appear dramatically. Oh, nice. I connected. Good. Yes, Stephen did his dedication, so yay. Welcome home, and congratulations. I got the healing altar set up with sigils, but didn't actually anything. Awesome. That's okay. You got it set out. It was pouring, lightning, and thundering. Clear skies. Nice. It's okay, Miriam. We send you good energy, honey, to get through a family crisis. Yuck. That's okay. I had all my crystals and honey from casting on the table. Yay. Nice. All right. Okay. So we are, I think is there 20 questions? Hold on. There's 20 questions. And you're going to write, so you're just going to write number 1, and there's going to be 4 choices to each of these questions. And the choices are often, sometimes, rarely, and never. Okay? So if you want, what I have done before with this, hold on. Often. Yeah. Sometimes. Rarely. And you'll have to excuse my writing, guys. I am a very messy writer. And never. I did not ever get like the girly handwriting thing and all that. It just didn't happen for me. I am a messy writer from forever. Okay, so hold on, let me mark my page because it's going to close. So if you set up something like this so that you can just, mark on here often, I can't read backwards, sometimes, rarely, and never. And there's 20 questions on here. So if you can set up your page like that, then it'll make it easier when we go to score it. And just do, this pen sucks. There we go. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, and 20. So 20 questions. You were a healer in a past life, so you had to write prescriptions. That's right. I agree. So 4 columns. Often, sometimes, rarely, and never. And 20 questions. And then you're just going to mark in each column here about how I need to help clean the house right now. Oh, Leolyn, you need to move out, sweetie. I know you know that, but boy, I send you energy daily to deal with him. I'm telling you. All right, so is everybody ready, or as ready as you're going to be? And what happened to my, I don't know what happened to my thing, but I found it. Okay, here we go. Let's do this thing. Okay, so question 1. Question 1 is, when you are talking to friends, how often do you know what they are going to say before they say it? Often, sometimes, rarely, or never. And just mark, whichever one it is. Question 2. Have you ever felt like you understood what a family member or a pet wanted with just one glance? So for me, the pet thing is a big deal. Because I always think I think I know what my pets should be saying and all that. If you do that, that's often, right? Question number 3. When your sweetheart is away on vacation, how often do you know what he is doing? You too, Amethyst? Often, sometimes, rarely, or never. If you don't have a sweetheart, and you still have parents in your life, someone who's close to you. So like your mother, someone who's close to you. How often? Often, sometimes, rarely, never. Question number 4. Do you actually hear a friend or family member's voice in your head when you're not with them? So, which for me, that's a big one. I hear that a lot. Like I can picture my mother lecturing me right now. Hi, Hexen. So question 4, do you actually hear a friend or family member's voice in your head when you're not with them? Yes, often. How are you doing, Sweet Pea? We're doing a psychic quiz to see what of these psychic abilities we're more drawn to. Question 5. Do you ever hear noises you can't easily explain? Often, sometimes, rarely, or never. Question 6. When you are drifting off to sleep, have you ever heard people talking when no one is around? Often, sometimes, rarely, never. It's only when I'm in danger. So that's rarely or sometimes, depending on how, hopefully rarely. Question 7. Have you ever been scared or nervous about something and heard a comforting voice out of nowhere? Hi, Claire. Have you ever been scared or nervous about something and heard a comforting voice out of nowhere? Now, I'll be honest, that's not one that I hear a whole lot. I feel comfort, but I don't hear a comforting voice out of nowhere. Question 8. When you close your eyes, do you see actual images in your mind's eye? So can you see an actual image in your mind's eye? Or do you get a general sense of things? Do you actually see images in your mind's eye? Yeah, I would say that counts, Amethyst. If you quote unquote hear it. I'm trying to think if I actually see the image. What was it? Have any of you done the Apple test recently that came out? And I thought for sure I see like a very clear image, and it turns out, I mean, it was fairly clear, but it wasn't as clear as I thought in my head it was. So I'm going to say sometimes for that. Okay. Question 9. I see images. Awesome. As you go about your day, do you ever see fast-moving flashes of light out of the corners of your eyes? Often, sometimes, rarely, or never. Question 10. When you daydream, do you see clear pictures? Often, sometimes, rarely, or never. All right, for those of you who just came in, I'm going to back up and really quickly go through the first 10 again. So your paper should look like this. Often, sometimes, rarely, or never. 1 through 20 is the questions. Okay? So I'm going to really, like, super quickly, just in case you need to catch up. Question 1. When you are talking to friends, how often do you know that what they are going to say before they say it? Often, sometimes, rarely, never. Question 2. Have you ever felt like you understood what a family member or pet wanted with just one glance? Number 3. When your sweetheart or family or friend is away on vacation, how often do you know what he or she is doing? Question 4. Do you actually hear a friend or family member's voice in your head when you're not with them? Question 5. Do you ever hear noises you can't easily explain? Question 6. When you are drifting off to sleep, have you ever heard people talking when no one else is around? Question 7. Have you ever been scared or nervous about something and heard a comforting voice out of nowhere? Question 8. When you close your eyes, do you see actual images in your mind's eye? Question 9. As you go about your day, do you ever see fast-moving flashes of light out of the corners of your eyes? And question 10. When you daydream, do you see clear pictures? Question 11. When you are drifting off to sleep, do unexplained images pop into your head? Oh, all the damn time. And then you're like, what was that? Was that trying to tell me something? What the hell did I just see? Okay. Yep. Often, sometimes, rarely, or never. Question 12. When you are in the middle of class or work, how often do you have and it ends up being correct? When you are in the middle of class or work, how often do you have a hunch and it ends up being correct? Question 13. When you are planning a date, do you ever get the feeling that something will happen while you're on it and you end up being correct? Often, sometimes, rarely, or never. This doesn't have to be a date with a significant other. This can be a date with your mother, a date with your parents, a date with your kids. So that was what? 13. Question 14. When you are alone, how often do you sense there is something else going on in the room with you? Question 14. When you are alone, how often do you sense there is something else going on in the room with you? All the damn time. Question 15. Have you ever had a foreboding feeling about someone or something that later actually happened? Question 15. Often, sometimes, rarely, or never are the choices there, Claire. Have you ever had a foreboding feeling about someone or something that later actually happened? Question 16. How often do you remember the details of your dreams? Often, sometimes, rarely, or never. Too often checks for that one. Oof. Question 17. Right? 17. How often do you act on your intuitive feelings or impressions? Often, sometimes, rarely, or never. Question 18. You know, I have to say, just as an aside, question 17, how often do you act on your intuitive feelings or impressions? I'm one of those people that it's probably too much. Like, I should kind of take into account logic a little bit more once in a while, maybe. I think the people who are around me would much rather see me once in a great while just, I don't know, do something out of logic. That would probably make them very happy, but that doesn't happen very often. Question 18. Do you easily experience a deep and peaceful feeling of being connected to animals and nature? Often, sometimes, rarely, or never. Yes, we're live. Thank you, Stephen. Question 19. Do you have the ability to concentrate for long periods of time? Often, sometimes, rarely, or never. That's a hard one. I guess it depends on what I'm concentrating on. It's funny because, yeah, I do. So it's, I don't know, sometimes I guess, because sometimes I do, sometimes not at all. 18, one more time, was, do you easily experience a deep and peaceful feeling of being connected to animals and nature? Yes, Jack, I knew you would be here laughing at that with me. Do you easily experience a deep and peaceful feeling of being connected to animals and nature? That was 18. Either not at all or hyper-focused. That's right. Question 19 again. Do you have the ability to concentrate for long periods of time? And finally, question 20. How likely are you to dismiss your unexplained impressions and intuitions? How likely are you to dismiss your unexplained impressions? Okay, so here comes the math part. Ready? I know I'm not. All right, you're going to turn these answers into a score. If you, every time you checked often, you're going to give yourself 4 points. I missed 12. Okay, hold on. Let me get it for you. 12 was when you are in the middle of class or work, how often do you have a hunch and it ends up being correct? When you are in the middle of class or work, how often do you have a hunch and it ends up being correct? Question 14. Potty mouth starseed, that's cute. When you are alone, how often do you sense there's something else going on in the room with you? When you are alone, how often do you sense there's something else going on in the room with you? 3 and 1. Okay, question 3 again is, when your sweetheart is away on vacation, how often do you know what he is doing? And question number 1, when you are talking to friends, how often do you know what they are going to say before they say it? How often? Okay, so if you, all the times that you answered often, you're going to give yourself 4 points. Okay, what was 20? How likely are you to dismiss your unexplained impressions? What was number 7? Number 7, have you ever been scared or nervous about something and heard a comforting voice out of nowhere? So first, go through and give yourself 4 points for every often answer. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So 8 times 4 is 32, right? 32. Wait, 8, 16, 20. Yes. 32, I think. Thank you. I am terrible with math. Let me just tell you that ahead of time. Sometimes. Every time you said sometimes, thank you, give yourself 3 points. Every time you said sometimes, you're going to give yourself 3 points. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 times 3 is 12? No. Nope. You're not even close. 8 times 3 is, no. 9, 12, 20. What's 8 times 3?
Wait, what?
8 times 3.
16? No.
24.
24. I was going to say. No.
I'm terrible. Terrible. Danny, you should be doing your own. You don't have to do mine.
Are you doing math questions right now?
No, we're doing psychic questions, but then you have to give yourself points for how many, for this answers. So I had to do 8 sometimes answers, which was 3 points apiece. You know, I'm not known for my math skills, let's be honest.
Is that part of the quiz?
Yes. Okay. I'll have to go back and do this later. I got majorly sidetracked. That's okay, Kay. All answers equal 42, which is the life number. All right. Rarely. Rarely. All answers of rarely give you 2 points. 1, 2, 4, 6, 4, 2, 4, 6, 8. So that's 8. And never, you get 1 point for each never answer. And then you add it all up. So 10, 14, 1, 5, 64. So mine is 64. All right. Do you all have your number? 68 equal 42, which is the life number. The argument with my son is daily. 62, 72, 64, 54. You didn't lose. Nobody lost. 72. Okay. If your score is between 20 and 34, that, I want to make sure I'm clear about this, guys. If your score is between 20 and 34, that does not mean that you are not psychic or that you are not able to be psychic. It just means you're going to have to work at it a little bit. Even though we all have a sixth sense, you may need a little TLC to get it up and running. That means your third eye really isn't open very much. Our rarely equals 2, and the nevers is 1 point. You are not as naturally open to the psychic stuff happening around you as others. You could be processing just as much psychic information as anyone else and simply not be aware of it. People who think more logically sometimes have a problem making sense of the psychic impressions, so they deny that it even happens. Also, keep in mind that a lot of people fear the unknown. You could be shutting off your inner senses because you are uncomfortable with the idea of anything unexplained. To fix this, create more room for your intuition to grow. And learn to go with the inner flow. Here are some tips. Be mindful of your sixth sense as you move through the day. Don't dismiss your impressions as nothing. Don't judge your hunches, and definitely don't try to rationalize them away. Just accept them. You'll be surprised at how your psychic ability will begin to show itself when you give it space to play. Okay. 35 to 49. Thank you, Busy Bee. 35 to 49. Wow, I don't even know if any of us got that low. But I'm going to read it anyways. 32. Okay, 35 to 49. You are open to your potential. You have good, but mostly undeveloped potential. You probably have had a few spontaneous psi experiences that you can recount in great detail, but you haven't gotten to the point where they happen on a regular basis. 45. That's okay. And don't forget, this is not a pass-fail. This just is going to tell us what you need to work on, and then in a couple minutes we'll work on what areas you should work on first, okay? With a little effort, you can bring these inner abilities to their fullest potential. Here's how to be psychic as fast as you can. When you play the games and take tests, there's lots of psychic games, there's lots of psychic tests. Make sure you take extra time to get deep into your psychic state. While some people are able to get information with light concentration, you may need to concentrate deeper to get the same stuff. It's also very important to trust the information that comes through. Don't be worried about being wrong or missing the mark. And we're going to go over some stuff to do with that later. It's also very important. Oh, I just did that. Don't be worried about being wrong or missing the mark. Don't judge your progress against others. That is going to be super important. Okay, super important. Just trust yourself. Some of your friends may have an easier time opening up because they already use their intuition in daily activities. Do the solo exercises and you'll catch up in no time. Okay? 50 to 64 points. 50 to 64. You have good natural abilities. You are used to relying on your inner feelings and instincts on a daily basis. You may not realize it, but you use clairsentient abilities to make decisions and often act based on those decisions. The difference between you and the super psychics in the following group is that your experiences are more unconscious than theirs. Because of that, you have a tendency to blow off certain psychic experiences by coming up with rational explanations for them. By not recognizing pure intuition at work, your abilities may remain undisciplined. Your instincts can be trained, and it should be easy for you to make the most of them. When you experience psychic impressions throughout the day, it's important to take a second look at them. Make the whole experience of having an impression and acting on it more of a conscious process. When you are completing everyday tasks, make an effort to use your sixth sense as part of the process. Soon you'll be able to recognize your psychic skills and use them to the best of your ability. The decision to eat a butterscotch cookie is real. Woohoo! Hi, Estelle. And so in this group especially, but in all groups, you want to start to incorporate ways to test your sixth sense, your psychic abilities into everyday stuff. So when you go to the grocery store, you're gonna talk about, okay, is there anything that I think the grocery store is gonna be out of this week that I can't get? Is there anything that I think I'm gonna be able to find that I didn't find before? Is there any product that I can't quite place, but I can see something in my mind and I think I'm going to feel like, oh, I see this product very clearly. So you're going to try to incorporate some of that into your everyday life. 65 to 80 points, you are super psychic. You are the most naturally gifted psychic in the bunch, although you knew that already. Ha ha ha. You probably always noticed odd coincidences and unexplained phenomena happening to you, and it's very likely that other members of your family are the same way. You are aware of these experiences as they happen, and you even have some explanations for why and how they occur. The bottom line, you must have some good stories to tell. The key to your psychic success is to control these experiences, to learn to fine-tune them, to receive practical information that will help you in your life. It's great to have dreams of dear Aunt Martha, but when you learn to fully operate your sixth sense, you'll discover who likes you and who doesn't. Know the best way to deal with your parents and teachers. With some practice, you'll be psychically unstoppable. More things came to me. Yes, 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 Ravenheart. Which store has TP and bleach, right? It's not nuts to do that? No, of course not. Yes, absolutely. I often had fleeting thoughts that I dismiss or don't latch onto until after the situation comes to fruition. Yes, pay more attention and latch onto them and try to remember them. That's why dream journal, I have to say, if you're one of those that a lot of your psychic stuff comes through dreams, make sure you start a dream journal. Put it next to your bed. It will help you because it keys in your unconscious mind to say you want to start remembering your dreams. So even if you don't write them down all the time, if you have that next to you and sometimes get up and write that dream down, it keys it in so that your brain starts going, oh yeah, I want to start to remember more of this. So that it starts to remember more details about those dreams. Okay. I have too many journals, right? But if I had taken it as a child, the answers would have been so much stronger. Oh, that's so true, Emma. That is so true. And we're going to talk more about some of this stuff in a little bit, but I want to finish this, the scoring. Now, there's another way we're going to score this. Part 2 of scoring. So now that you know how much natural psychic ability you operate with, you can determine the nature of those gifts. As far as where your telepathic abilities come in. Do you have good telepathic abilities? Are you more clairaudient, clairvoyant, clairsentient? We're going to pinpoint your strengths and weaknesses. It's important to know your natural psychic talents as you develop your intuition. The 20 questions of the test you took are divided into 5 subgroups. Questions 1 through 4 determine your telepathic abilities. Questions 4 through 7 determine your clairaudient nature. Question 4 is both telepathic and clairaudient. Questions 8 through 11 determine your clairvoyant vision. 12 through 15 determine your clairsentient feelings. 16 through 20 show your overall PsyQ or psychic intelligence. So the first 4 groups that probe specific abilities each have 4 questions. All right, so you're going to separate your answers. So 1 through, hold on, what did I say? 1 through 4, that is your telepathic abilities. Hi, Red Rum. Then 4 through 7, that is your clairaudient. Then 8 through 11 is your clairvoyant. 12 through 15 is your clairsentient, and 16 through 20 is your PsyQ or psychic intelligence. So if you look there, first of all, you can kind of look right away, right? Is there a grouping for you that has a whole bunch of oftens, or a whole bunch of sometimes? Like for me, I'll tell you that 16 through 20 has the most oftens, which 16 through 20, we said, I believe is clairsentient, right? 16 through 20 is your overall psychic intelligence. So what has the most in a group? The groups in which you have 1 point are your psychic senses that need some work. So I would say, like the first group, I have maybe 2 oftens and 2 sometimes. So I'm pretty good. The second group, I have 3 rarely, an often, and 2 sometimes. So okay. The third group, I have 2 sometimes and 2 oftens. So you kind of look at what groupings. Is there any that you have more rarely or nevers? Like for me, 12 through 15 is 2 rarelys, which is so bullshit. Hold on. Is that right? Yes. hold on, 12 through 15 is your clairsentience. That is such bullshit. I just disproved my whole thing. Because bullshit. That's what I am, is clairsentient, and I had 2 rarely, so that's what I need work at. The test is in the book that I'm reading. If you go back at the end, and I did it out loud. So if you go back at the end and do that, we can do it out, or you can do it out loud. So that should give you an idea, though, of what senses you want to increase your work on. Before you go on, review your answers, divide them into the first 4 subgroups listed, add them up and see what category they fit into. 4 to 6 groups, little or no natural ability when it comes. 4 to 6 points. Okay, 4 to 6, no. I got you. Working, but mostly on unconscious level. Okay, so that's the first 4 groups. So look at the first 4 groups, and you should be able to tell if you need some work in that areas, or if you need, if you're a little bit better at one or the other. So the last group is scored a little bit different. It's your psychic intelligence, or your PsyQ. These questions tell you, so the last group is 16 through 20. These questions tell you if you have good psychic habits. If you already trust and act on your hunches, you have good concentration and a connection to animals, it will be a lot easier for you to use these skills to develop your psychic ability, no matter how you scored in the first 4 sets. So if you scored 5 to 10 points in the last 4 groups there, to develop your psychic senses, you are first going to need to develop more inner awareness, discipline, and concentration. 11 to 15, developing your 6th sense may seem unnatural to you. When it comes to inner guidance, force yourself open and look again. 16 to 20, you have natural skills and develop good inner abilities. And 21 to 25, your mind works in psychic ways. No doubt you are primed for 6 senses, not just 5. So don't forget that everybody does not have the same abilities, right? You're welcome, Shauna. Everyone's abilities are a little bit different, and that's okay. We need everyone's abilities. Hi, Red Rum. Everyone has different abilities, and we need all of them. Then there was another test in another book, but I wanted to go on to, nope. Okay, so I'm going to save the meditation till a little bit later, but I want to talk about ways that you can, thank you, Moon River, ways that you can open up your intuition a little bit. And the ways that you can do that are to trust yourself, to trust your intuition. Now, there are a million different psychic quizzes. You can start to test your psychic ability. There is, if you look up free ESP tests or free psychic tests and stuff, there's a million different, there's cards you can print out that you can practice, with the shapes. There's a star and a wave and that kind of thing. You can practice your ESP senses on flashcards. The ways that I like to open things up, yes, the Zener cards, exactly. So if you have 3 sometimes in a category, you would score 9 because each one is worth 3 points. Correct. Yes, exactly. Thank you, Stephen, my logic boy. Where can I find this test, Mom? Red Room, if you go back to the beginning of this video and watch it, then I will give you the test audit, like you in the... I apparently can't speak very well. All of a sudden, I'm like... If you go back to the beginning of this, honey, when we're done, then I will give you all the questions in the beginning. Okay? Okay, what happened, honey? Yeah, we love you and we're here. So the other ways that you can open up your psychic ability, I'm going to say this again, even though I mention it every time. Try to take fluoride out of your diet, out of your toothpaste, out of your mouthwashes, out of your water. Many times it's hard in America, especially, that a lot of our water has fluoride in it. Like they inject fluoride into your water. So don't drink town water sometimes. You have to be careful because that will calcify your pineal gland, which is where your psychic ability comes from. You do not need fluoride if you have all of your adult teeth and you're not creating children. So if you're pregnant or could become pregnant, then that's different. You can't get it out of your town water. You just have to not drink your town water, which stinks, I know. But usually a lot of towns in America anyway have added fluoride for the children, which I get. But you just have to be careful. You have to look at your water that you're consuming and make sure that it's fluoride free. Fluoride free toothpaste, you can get a filter. It does not. I don't know if there's specific ones you can buy that do, but I know just a regular water filter won't do that. In the open space there. Anyways, there's toothpaste even at the Dollar Tree now. Very cheaply. I keep meaning to bring it upstairs, but at the Dollar Tree, I've gotten toothpaste now that is fluoride free. I keep hearing the man and the woman in our apartment more lately. Do you? I know Cass has been hearing the woman at her shop a lot more too. Britta will take chlorine out. I don't think Britta takes fluoride out though. You have to look at it. I'm trying to remember. There's which bottled water like specifically says fluoride free, and of course now my brain is just fried. Can't remember at all. Darn it. The other thing besides, oh, come on, where is it? That I wanted to talk about, we can't escape it, right? I swear I put a bookmark in the spot, and of course now I'm not going to be able to find it. I'll probably find it as soon as we get off. Nope. Explorations. No. Here it is. I found it. Okay. So I wanted to give you this exercise because we had talked about doing readings for each other, and I haven't seen anybody doing that yet. So this is another way to have fun with opening up your psychic abilities and allowing yourself the ability to make a mistake, to not put so much pressure on yourself to get things right. Okay? And so I'm going to read this, and it's a good idea. And if you have kids at home, practice this with your kids. Your kids will like this too. So from the time I was 12 years old until I was 15, I apprenticed in psychic development with a gifted teacher named Charlie Goodman. And Goodman was the perfect name for him. He taught me to meditate, to remove my blocks, to become aware of auras and chakras, which we'll go over chakras soon. You've done a reading for you. Thank you, Danny. To receive energy from objects, to receive telepathic messages from others, and to open up my third eye. Even after practicing all these lessons, I kept waiting for the day when I would know enough to consider myself officially psychic. One day when I went to class, Charlie asked me to do a psychic reading. It was something I've never done before, and I froze. I couldn't do a reading. I was still a student. I wasn't yet a psychic. Charlie asked, why not? What are you waiting for? I don't know. I answered, permission from you? He laughed. The secret to being psychic, I'm guessing not, Nan. The secret to being psychic, Sonia, is that the permission to be officially psychic comes from you. Me? I asked incredulously. Yes, you. Then I remembered, now this is the key, the games that I used to play with my mom when I was little. She and I would play a game called Let's Be Psychic. In this game, I would pretend I was psychic and she was my client. I would lay out a deck of cards in various patterns that I would invent. And then while looking at them, I would predict the future. When playing this game, if what I predicted did not come true, my mother taught me to say to myself, oh, well. And one dislike, that's all right. Not everybody likes everything. Doesn't bother me a bit. After all, this game was to teach me to allow my impressions to be expressed. It wasn't a test. I said, oh, well, all the time, but we were having fun. Once I told her that my older brother, Stefan, who was away for the summer on a work-study program, would be coming home to surprise her. How did I know? I just made it up. After all, it was only a game. It wasn't serious. So I was free to make up whatever I wanted. This prediction about my brother just popped into my mind. My mother would write down everything I said when we played this game, and then she would just wait for my predictions to happen. I remember that nothing much of what I said would come true, or at least none of it impressed me until that day. 3 hours after I told my mother that Stefan would surprise us with a visit, he walked through the door, and she was shocked, and her mother was excited, and all that. So understand that there is something to be said for just playing a game saying, I'm a psychic. And you start telling yourself that. You start doing affirmations with yourself that I am a psychic, that I am able to use psychic abilities, that I am able to use my intuition, that I am able to tap into my mediumship abilities. And so you start to make predictions on all kinds of stuff. Whether you are trying to be right or not, you're starting to make predictions. So I want you to start pretending that you are a paid psychic. Pretend with your kids if you have kids. Pretend with your husband if he's willing. Pretend with your cats and your dogs if you don't have anyone in your house that you're comfortable with that way. And make predictions about everyone you know. Make predictions about your family. Make predictions about stuff that's going to happen on TV. Make predictions about your favorite shows, like what you think will happen at the end of your favorite shows. Make predictions about everything. And not worrying about whether you're making them up or whether you're actually making predictions. And you start doing that for a couple weeks at least, and you start being more comfortable with speaking like you are making predictions. And then from there, you actually, once you're tuning in, you're meditating, you're tuning in to more of your intuition, you're tuning into more of your mediumship abilities, you're tuning into your connections to the universe. And then it starts to happen that you start to realize when you're just talking off the cuff and making predictions that you haven't really thought about. And when you start to feel something that you go, oh, wait, I think I have a feeling that my brother is going to call me this week. And start to write some of that down. When you start to feel that difference, start to write down, oh, wait, I think maybe my brother is going to call this week. I do psychic building live shows once a month on my channel for card flips and guessing the stones in my hands for building psychic ability. It's called Mystic Mondays. That's awesome. That's awesome. Perfect. I love when people do like the 3 cards. You do 3 tarot cards, and which one do you think is for you? And you choose a card, and you don't know it for a couple hours. So by the time you reveal that card, you kind of know, oh yeah, that was a really good card for today. I really needed that. That helps too. So start writing that down so that you can go back and check some of those predictions. And I want you to make predictions over everything, over every stupid little thing that happens for a couple weeks. Just make predictions about everything. And don't worry for a couple weeks whether you feel like they are right or whether you think I'm just making up weird predictions. It's okay to just make up weird predictions. It's okay to say, I think my boss is going to trip and fall on her face this week. By the way, if she trips and falls on her face, you didn't do that. You just saw that and saw yourself either laughing at it or not laughing at it. I would predict my pet's favorite holidays and colors. Perfect. I would just laugh even harder, right? I would too. Yep, there you go. I'm calling my dad. If I don't get around to it, he'll call you. We do flash rounds, so we do a lot of them. That's great. That is awesome. Hi, Johnny. I'm going to go finish mowing the Christmas tree part of the field tomorrow. Woohoo! Prediction, I think one day I'll get out of here and live near Mom. Yay! It's not a stretch. It's going to happen, Red Rum. I need to remove... Yes. I don't go too much into predicting because nothing is set in stone. That's true. Absolutely nothing is set in stone. And I have to say, too, that I am not of the... Now, I don't know how to say this. It's not that I don't think there are psychics out there who can predict things that may happen to you or around you. I do. But me as a person, I guess because I know that I can change the course of my life anytime I want, I don't want to know most of that stuff. Like tarot, when I use tarot, I don't really use tarot to predict, that this thing is going to come up, and then I don't know, I don't use it like that. And that is just my thing. It's certainly okay if you use it that way, or if you go to psychics to predict stuff for you. That's up to you. I think I don't want to know ahead of time, for one thing. And I've talked about tarot before. To me, when you are talking about using your mediumship abilities, when you're talking about using your psychic abilities, it is like a river. And the banks of the river... What did I do with my thing? The banks of the river are set in stone, right? Well, if you see that there's a curve coming up in your river and you decide you don't want to travel that curve, that you see that curve and you go, oh shit, I don't want that to happen, you can dig a path and go straight. So it's not set in stone. It's not something that you cannot ever change. It is something that when you see something coming, you can change your habits. You can change the way you're looking at things. You can change, a lot of things about where you're going. So I do use predictive energy and psychic ability and mediumship to give me an idea of the energies that I expect to see coming up. I predict rat pussy's population will rise with human beings on Sunday. Yes, right? For sure. But I don't for me, I'm not one that wants to know a whole lot of detail about my future self, because I feel like I'm creating my future self as I go. And I want the mistakes that I'm going to make, I kind of want to make them, because more than anything else in my life, I learn by mistakes. Yes, 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 yes. I see it as this is the direction the energy is going at the moment, but you can change that. That's right. Exactly. Exactly. That's how we grow, for sure. Absolutely. Okay. Are we ready for the meditation? What time is it? 8:30. Okay. Your child just had a car accident. Oh no, is she okay, Jackie? Or he? Two Flemish giants. Woohoo! Learn by doing is hugely successful. Oh, not now. You scared the crap out of me, Jackie. One often meets the destiny on the road he takes to avoid it. Right? Yes, exactly. Yes, for sure. And exactly that. I don't want to avoid it. Okay, so another way to decide what kind of psychic energy you should be focused on, what kind you have natural ability to do, is by doing a meditation. And at the end of it, we'll talk about what jumped out at you in the meditation. And that will tell you a lot of what kind of psychic ability you can focus on. So are we ready? Are we? This is not a long meditation at all. It's fairly short. It's like one page. Okay? All right. So everybody get into a comfortable position for me. Take a deep breath. And this is not a real deep meditation either. This is, kind of a light meditation, but it'll tell us a lot. Take a breath in through your nose. Hold it for the count of 3. 1, 2, 3, and out through your mouth. Again, in through your nose. 1, 2, 3, and out through your mouth. And one more, in through your nose. 1, 2, 3, and out through your mouth. Envision a beautiful garden full of beautiful bird song. You see a rose bush in front of you. In your witch eye, or your third eye, rise and walk towards it. As you get closer, you notice that all of the petals of each rose are a deep black. Take a moment to appreciate the unique beauty of these roses. Look at the thorny stems, the leaves, and the flowers. Feel the warm glow of the sun on your skin. Run your hand along the roses, feeling their silky petals. Run your hands along the stems, touching the thorns. Pick one of the flowers from the stem and smell its beautiful floral fragrance. It smells like a rose, but much more luxurious than any other rose you've ever smelled. And also, it has its own distinct, unique smell. Now, bite into the flower. As you do, you realize to your surprise that it has a deeply rich, chocolatey taste. Take a moment to savor the flavor. As the chocolate taste begins to fade from your tongue, You are filled with a deep sense of wellness and happiness. You notice that where you bit into the flower, it is beginning to regrow back into perfect form as if you never bit into it. Take the flower and place it back from where you plucked it. Miraculously, the flower becomes part of the rose bush again, as if you never took it off to begin with. As it reemerges with the flower, you hear a heavenly sound coming from everywhere and nowhere, all at once, and a quiet voice coming from the rose bush thanks you. Allow the vision to fade, and when you're ready, open your eyes. Now, we're going to rate each of the senses that you were able to sense in that meditation on a scale of 1 to 10. Okay? So, clairvoyance, on a scale of 1 to 10, how well were you able to see the garden, seeing the black roses, being able to pick the rose, watch it regenerate, place it back upon the rose bush? On a scale of 1 to 10, how well do you think you saw all of those things in this meditation? Clairtangency, feeling the sun on your skin, the silky rose petals on your fingertips, the stems and the thorns, the emotional feeling of wellness and happiness. On a scale of 1 to 10, how well were you able to feel all of those things? 7, 10, good, good, good. 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 Clairgustance, the taste of the flower in your mouth. How well, now this is a hard one. How well were you able to taste the chocolatey taste of the flower in your mouth? A lot of times this is one that is not easy for most people, is that clairgustance, the taste smell or the taste ability. That is my weakest. Yeah, it's funny. It depends on the taste for me. Sometimes that's good and sometimes it's not so good for me. Now I want a chocolate flower. Yummy. Orange or other tastes. I agree. The chocolate taste to me, I'm always worried about, will I like the chocolate? Because there's only certain chocolates that I like. So that has to do with it too. Clairaudience, the smell. How well, on a scale of 1 to 10, were you able to smell the roses? I just couldn't for this one. I could taste the rose more than the chocolate. Me too. When I did this, I agree. I was kind of like, roses don't taste very good. So the smell of the rose, how well, on a scale of 1 to 10, I've had chocolate today, so I can that helps for sure. 6 for the smell, 6 or 7, 9, but I love old roses that have stronger fragrances. Good. Pat just said chocolate. 6, good. Good, good, good. And finally, clairaudience. How well could you hear the sound of the bird song, the heavenly sound at the end, and the small voice from the rose bush thanking you? On a scale of 1 to 10, how well could you hear all of those things? Five, 3, 10. That's okay, Danny. Very easy. Good, good. 7, 8 for sight. You have a bird, that helps, right? So that should give you a sense. Those senses that you got a higher score on, those should be your natural abilities. So if you're just starting out, 8, but my neighbors ruined it. Yeah, that happens. Those of you who are just starting out can use the ones that you scored higher on. If you looked at me, that's insane, right? You can use those first. You can start to develop those more. If you feel like you have developed those senses to a decent degree and you want to work on some of the harder ones, then the ones that you got a lower score on are the ones that you should start to work on for development. Seeing and feeling. Like for me, I have my sense of smell is a really good one. My sense of taste, it depends on the taste. Like the tastes for me that do really well, they have to be tastes that, not necessarily, I don't want to say it's ones that I like. I think the taste one for me is connected to smell. So the taste ones that I smell before I taste, I do better. Like if I am thinking about tasting an apple or citrus, yes, then I taste it much better than just the ones that, like chocolate for me is not one that I smell very often before I taste it. So I tend to do much better because my sense of smell is way better than my sense of taste. So the ones that I can't smell before I taste are the ones that I need to work on more. So when you want to work on one of the senses or the other, you are going to do some exercises that will, during your meditations, that are all about, you're going to set up, and I will try to, I'll be honest with you, I probably will not have the time to set up individual meditations until after I'm done working this job. But if one of you guys will remind me in 3 weeks when I'm done, I will set up a meditation for each one. So when you want to work on like clairvoyance first, I'll set up a meditation that focuses on the visual. I'll set up a meditation that focuses on the hearing. But you can do it on your own too. You can make up a meditation in your head, and when you go into your meditation, you're going to look at if you're going to try to strengthen your clairvoyance, which is sight, then you're going to put a lot of things in your path on the meditation that you want to visually see and see the details of. So if I was doing clairvoyance, I would start out on a rocky cliff that have trees overhanging it. So I want to see the shadows and the individual rocks that I have to step over. And then I come to, the sun is shining and I can see it through the trees a little bit. And I come to an opening and I come through and the sun is really bright. So much so that I have to kind of close my eyes to not have it, like you feel like a mole. And then when my eyes adjust, then I see this. And then, so you want to set yourself up some of the meditation that you can see very specific things that will help you with that sense. I'm in what? I'm in a bit of shock. In less than 3 hours, it's been decided that my children and I are going to live with my mother or grandparents for a month. Oh no! Sarana, is that because in a veteran nursing home and they have their first... No, I was going to say, is that because of the virus? Oh, I certainly understand. He wants to keep you safe. Audience was my lowest. That's okay. I just heard that my cousin in England has COVID-19. Yes. And I'm sure that is frightening and it's hard and it's a big thing to have to go through for sure. But I certainly understand your fiance not wanting to, being afraid that they would expose you. And keep in mind, guys, that most people who get COVID-19 are okay. I'm not saying that all of us are, but most people are okay. Most people are getting through it. It's a scary thing no matter what, but most of us will get through it even if you're testing positive. Okay, don't forget that. I know it sounds like a death sentence right now because that's what we're hearing the most of. And same thing for all of the other senses. You can make yourself up a specific meditation. If you guys remind me, promise me you'll remind me in 3 weeks when I'm done with work, I will, make up a meditation for each one. But you can make up a meditation in your head. Yes, there have been people recovering. Absolutely. Lots and lots of people are recovering. Way more people recover than don't. Way, way more. But it's scary. And I know it's scary because that's what we hear the most about is the bad cases, right? Yes, absolutely. So there is ways to enhance all of those senses. And that's what you're going to do. You're going to practice on, if you're practicing on taste, you're going to practice on tasting each thing. You're going to, pull out a psychic apple and take a bite out of the psychic apple and taste that, how juicy it is or not juicy, how sweet it is, how tart it is, what does this apple taste like? Same thing with smell. You're going to do different smells. Can you psychically smell a very good smell, a very bad smell? I won't even tell you it's so bad. But if you're not medical, then you won't know what it is anyways. So I guess I could probably say it without disgusting a whole lot of people. I don't know. Sometimes I think because I'm in the medical field, I'm too quick to make people disgusted. But one of the, being a medical person, one of the worst smells is a GI bleed.
There's some chicken down there if you want some, okay?
Thank you, honey.
Yeah.
And so when I am doing psychic stuff, one of the smells that I incorporate into that, because it's such a strong, overpowering smell, is GI bleed smell. And so I can very clearly, and that's a good way to, it sounds terrible though, I hate to disgust people, but that's a good way to get your psychic smell working, is to picture a very, very bad smell. And can you really bring that up in your mind and smell what that smells like, without it being in front of you? GI bleed. Yes. And gangrene. Yep. Know exactly what you're talking about with that one too. Whale song. Yep. I usually do all of those things in my Nematon. Yes. I have things I can eat there. I have exercises. Perfect. I love it, Sarana. That is, Pat just passed out on the couch. Not from what I said, right, Shauna? Yes. So absolutely. And why is that? Why is it that terrible things? I don't know that there's something innately human about, wanting to smell things or taste things that are bad. I love the commercial with the raccoons getting into the garbage and they're like, no, wait, really, you got to taste this. It's horrible. It's horrible. Why would I want to taste this if it's horrible? It's, whatever his name is, Steve, you got to taste this. It's really bad. You have to try it. There's something innately human about us when we, have a bad smell or a bad taste that we have to share it. Yes, maybe we believe our intuition more when it's negative. That's definitely could be. Yep. I always get nauseated. Really, Jazz? Every time I try to meditate, I fall asleep. Be young. There is something to that. You usually, if you're falling asleep every single time, then it's a sign that you're trying to incorporate too much too early. Do something simpler. Start with a simpler meditation. Like start with a 5-minute meditation instead of a 30-minute meditation, or instead of a 15-minute meditation. Start with a simpler meditation that is shorter, and maybe not either more focused on a specific thing or less focused. Usually if your subconscious won't let you meditate and starts having you fall asleep every single time, it means you're trying to work on too much psychically all at once. Your subconscious needs you to slow down and back up a little bit. 3rd and 4th degree burns, yes. Absolutely. I'll tell you, Whale Song, I got more used to the burn smell, the smell of burning flesh, which I'm sorry. Those of you who are medical, I'm really sorry. Or who aren't medical. In the OR. Because, when they cauterize and they cut and that all has to do with burning flesh. And so it didn't bother me after a while, but it took a while. Yes, it's when I try with relaxing music. So take the music part out of it. Find some meditations without the relaxing music and shorten it a little. Like do a 3 to 5 minute meditation without the music there. Is cancer in people. Yeah, that definitely could be, Jess. Yep. And a smell wafted from them. I immediately thought cancer. And when my sister had it, was the same smell. Yep. Cancer definitely has a smell, right? For sure. All right, guys. Any questions about anything we went over tonight? I know it's kind of a lot of information, and there's things that I need to do more in depth, and that I want to touch on a little bit more in other ways. So yeah, this weekend I'm going to be this Saturday, right? Is it this Saturday? I'm going to be on Amethyst's channel. Oh, no. I have to look over the questions, which I still have not gotten a chance to do, but I'm fine with that. I'm kind of a go off the cuff kind of person anyways. But so this Saturday, tune into Amethyst's channel to see my interview on Amethyst's channel. What else do I have? Tarot Tuesday. Yes, 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Yes. They're not hard questions. Perfect. I still have to do unboxings on a couple decks. I still have I still have this one too, which I really want to get to. The Akashic Messages. Because the Akashic Records is a part of this whole discussion of psychic energy and work. Will working on this help me to talk to spirit? Yes, Estelle, absolutely. Yes. Do I have a link for her? Hang on, I'll get it right now. I think I will. Damn it, where'd you go? Here it is. Yes, click on the 3 dots, choose go to that channel, which I swear is what I was trying to do. It's not letting me. I wonder if it's because I'm a moderator that it's not letting me do that, because then I was going to link it, but yes, Amethyst has a great channel. And it's one of those channels that I really would like to watch a lot more. There's a lot more content on there that I would love to be able to watch. I just don't have time, but hopefully now I will have a little bit more time to watch some stuff. Yay. And I can't wait, you guys. I have to say, I cannot wait. To be able to, yes, absolutely. Amethyst is a recommended channel. Yes, absolutely. I cannot wait to be able to watch more YouTube people that I love. Yes, the dragons are going live tonight at 9:30. Are we close? So another half hour. And I can't wait to, Cass and I have so many ideas of what we want to do. We're going to have stuff during the day that we're putting on the channel that like we're going to make soap and stuff and video us making soap and do it on the channel every day. Or we're going to do a project, like a daily project or every other day maybe project and put stuff on the channel. And so I'm really excited to get over there. And until I hope you do, Shauna. We love your stuff too. Until the shop opens, we will have more time to do, that kind of stuff. The dragons, Mystic Dragon's Lair. That is the shop that I'm going to be working at. That's the shop that I do, the crystal shows for here on my channel about once a month. They also have a YouTube channel now that they've done a couple YouTube shows. And so I can't wait to get there. I'm so psyched. Even until the shop is open, we should be able to do stuff that is online a lot until the shop is open anyways. And then we'll see. All right. I have found the witch's burrs I sent you for $16.99. Isn't that funny, Jackie? Ugh, it just kills me. That people sell that stuff for so much. Is there a way to only share videos with a private group? Yes, Estelle. Actually, you can make the videos unlisted and then just share the link for your videos in like my group, which only my group would see. So then it wouldn't get out to everybody. It just would get out to the members of my group or Cass's group or whatever. Yep. Did you find a new day for Dana's auction? We're going to do the auction on the 18th. We're just going to make it a smaller affair, and then we'll do another auction after that that's bigger. Maybe not every day, but at least a couple times a week. Yes. Yes, yes, yes. Absolutely. All right. I love you guys so much. And I'm so glad you all joined me. And I appreciate every single one of you so much. I know sometimes we all need to feel more appreciated, and I just want you to know how much each and every one of you really means to me. The fact that you guys show up and you comment and I know you're all sending me energy. I can feel that all the time, and I really appreciate all of you. And be good to each other. Love each other. We're getting through this. I know it's not easy, but we are getting through it. It's happening. It's time is passing, and I think, the curve is starting to flatten a little, and we're getting there. Just a note, someone who has a link can share it with someone not in the group. Mama's group would not do that. Yes, exactly. And exactly. I would not do that. Exactly. You're so welcome, you guys. And I hope you guys do get some something out of this. Okay? I love you guys so much. Be good to each other. Love each other. Stay home if you can. 6 feet distance. It's not a joke. I want you guys really to be as safe as you can. Sarana, I feel terrible that you have to do that. And I know how difficult that is going to be and how scary that is to have to go. But I totally understand why your fiance wants you to be safe. But I know that sucks. I love you so, so much, you guys.